measuring stick just changed around here, buddy. You're looking at it.
You are now listening to the Outsiders Podcast, the most exciting and hard-hitting show on the net. And now, bringing it hard as always on the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL, here are your hosts, Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger.
And welcome one and all to the Outsiders Podcast. Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger coming at you as always. Wow. I don't even have any words to intro this podcast right now because I am still in shock about seeing the worst NFL game I've ever seen, and I've been watching it since I was 5 years old. So,
boy, did we pick a great year to start our podcast.
No kidding, right? I mean, riveting stuff from 2-11 football teams. You got. Thanks for joining us anyway, guys. We appreciate all you guys for checking us out. We're talking Chiefs Raiders go around the NFL in our division sweep a little later on, and talk about some of the teams that are actually playing well.
Raiders got to the big fourth win of this year. Two of those, half their wins against the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations, Oakland.
Before we start, we have a very special guest that has some words for our front. We've had him on before, and you guys might know him. His name is Vince McMahon. And he has a couple words, and he has something he'd like to say to pretty much every single Chief, minus 2 or 3. I mean, that's cold, but it's Vince. I mean, that's very cold. No, I mean, I guess I agree with him though. I mean, it has to happen. Every single person affiliated with the abomination that took place at the Black Hole in Oakland on Sunday. Please tell me, Noah, that the team quit, because if they were trying, that was just abysmal.
It had to be quitting. Please let it be quitting. If not, we're in big trouble. If they were actually trying out there and put up 0 points against the Raiders without Richard Seymour, their corner that's been up and coming, Phillip Adams, gets hurt. He goes out. I mean, come on.
This was the 30th ranked defense in the NFL in Oakland. Kansas City amassed their first down, I believe, into the third quarter.
Yep.
Which is hard to do.
The Raiders had lost 6 in a row. Before that 6-game losing streak, they had a big victory over a tough team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they lose 6 in a row and get another big victory over the Kansas City Chiefs.
And we're going to bring on our buddy George Atkinson. You can catch him on Raiders pre- and post-game. He's going to be joining us here a little bit to talk about the game. And from Oakland's perspective, I mean, he told us last week that Oakland, this was basically just a tryout, playing young guys and trying to see where they fit. I mean, at least they can take that out of it. I mean, the Raiders have 4 wins this year, 2 of them over the Chiefs, and I think I saw a stat, something like between the Chargers and Raiders, I think, they have 9 wins between them, 4 of them are over Kansas City. It's astonishing.
Congratulations. I don't know how they beat us out there. Tough team, but
this is just, I can't believe that. The only thing that you're questioning now is when are the dominoes going to start dropping and people are going to get fired? Because there's no way that anyone could possibly survive this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen since the 2008 Lions. I mean, it is the worst.
I think it's got to be after the season. I was thinking about this last night. I mean, if I were in charge, I'd probably do it right now. But, I mean, Romeo Crennel is such a nice guy. They handled the Javon Belcher situation just magnificently, and you'd like to give him a little respect, let him finish out the season, and then can the rest.
That's probably what's on the horizon, I think, and I mean, you sit there and you watch Romeo Crennel, just a guy that looks like someone collecting a paycheck, a fat, slobby, no good, no knowledge head coach that has no sense that he's going to be here after this, just standing there, not caring about what's going on. That goes for our entire coaching staff, Dayball, and
I think you have to fire every single person on the coaching staff and the scouting department.
Yeah.
Just clean house. Last night I said maybe trade all the players. I don't know about that. But as far as the coaching staff and the scouting staff, I think you just have to get rid of all of them.
No, I think it goes deeper than that. I think you have to fire stadium personnel, parking attendants, concession stand workers.
Custodians? Are custodians on the chopping block?
They're done. I've seen enough.
I heard there was a candy wrapper that Scott Pioli wasn't too pleased to see out of the trash.
Yeah, fired.
Out of the trash bins.
Vince McMahon will agree, firing them all. Every single person affiliated with this team. And, of course, we're being a little sarcastic about that. We know the guys who need to be gone. And, we're going to see we have 2 games left. We're going to be going to Indianapolis, and we're going to be previewing that game for you guys later in the week with Jeff Harrod from the Indianapolis Colts, former Colt. And
linebacker.
Going to be talking about them. The Colts are a team that, obviously with Andrew Luck, just a very up-and-coming team. Maybe not ready, I don't think, to take the step towards a championship team, but they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be a wild card team, and congratulations. The Colts are going to come in here and kill the Chiefs. So
yeah, Reggie Wayne on probably Jaleel Brown. That should be fun to watch.
We should bring Dexter McLeon back so that he can try to cover Reggie Wayne again like he did in the 03 playoff game.
Can we get a William Barty sighting out there, please?
Oh, gosh. Might as well be. You saw what this offense looked like without Dwayne Bowe. I mean, Brady Quinn looks like a guy who's out there trying. He does not have the talent. He's out there trying. I think he's auditioning for a job, maybe as a backup role here or somewhere else. He knows that his time in this league may be short. And I think he was out there giving it his all and trying to lead this team, but there's just no one to lead right now. The offensive line's a mess. Ryan Lilja unable to get the snap to Quinn early in the game when the play clock was winding down. Clearly, winding down, Brady Quinn is screaming, clapping, doing everything but setting off fireworks behind the center. Could not get him to get the snap off.
Nope, not till it hit 0.
Lilja's
was
gone.
going to wait until he's definitely
done.
gone. So.
I mean, a lot of reshuffling, a lot going to have to go on for this Kansas City Chiefs team. But we're going to go ahead and bring on George Atkinson. He's our Raider insider, and you know what? He's kind of a breath of fresh air throughout all this. So let's see what George thinks of all this. And joined once again by our guy from the left coast, George Atkinson. You can catch him on pre- and post-game with the Oakland Raiders network. George, I don't know if you saw what we saw yesterday, but I saw a Chiefs team that went into Oakland yesterday and kind of, I don't know if you'd say quit, but they certainly didn't seem to get off the plane. What was your take on that?
Couldn't get the running game going. Passing game just was non-existent. The Raiders, 2 teams that were pretty much, I thought, equal. The Raiders couldn't put points on the board other than field goals, and the Chiefs couldn't put points on the board, period. But when you look at the personnel, I think both teams are suffering from the same symptoms, and that is that there's a lack of personnel on both sides of the ball for both teams. And I think that's where the Raiders and the Chiefs have to focus on for next year to get strong is the personnel department.
Well, George, the Oakland Raiders came into this game as the 30th ranked defense in the NFL, but you could have fooled me because yesterday they looked like the 85 Bears or 2000 Ravens the way they shut down the Kansas City's offense. I mean, they did this with problems in the secondary and injuries and no Richard Seymour. How was Oakland able to dominate the Chiefs defensively like that?
Well, for the Chiefs, they played better gap control. That's the best gap control I've seen the Raiders play in quite some time. They were responsible for gaps and maintained it. They kept Charles off balance with blitzes. They were coming from the corners and coming from inside. I thought that they played better without Rolando McClain. I think that they should have made that move some time ago with him. I think it's a better football team without him. You get more action from your linebackers and more tackles at the point of attack when you have Burris in there and Wheeler. Those guys give you pretty good action. I just thought the Raiders brought it to them, played disciplined gap control, and was there. The passing game, Brady Quinn was just not on point at all. They kept pressuring his face also.
Darren McFadden sure looked to get healthy on Sunday, but with him being a free agent this offseason, do you see the Raiders making an aggressive move to keep him? And do you think Darren McFadden will want to be back with the Raiders?
Here's a guy that when he's healthy and he's in the lineup, he makes a big difference for the offense. But you got to look at the fact that he's not healthy, but maybe a third season since he's been in the league. I think the Raiders will probably take a long look at McFadden as far as what's his future with the Raiders, what his future with the Raiders is. I just don't. I gotta have mixed feelings on that because the guy can be productive. You hate to get rid of a guy and then he goes somewhere else and tear the league up. But he has the ability. He's a violent runner when he's healthy. But I think the Raiders do have to make a decision on him. I think that's going to be one of their biggest projects is to find out what they want to do with McFadden. Do they want to keep him for next year or deal him to get more draft picks? Or,
gone wrong with the Raiders this season? I mean, last year they were a decent team, I believe, 8-8, and this year the wheels have just fallen off, and they're 4-10 right now.
Like you said, the wheels fell off, and they fell off with a few injuries. There's no depth for one thing. This team was without depth, and with the injuries that came along during the season, just couldn't overcome it with the personnel that they had. And that's the biggest. That was the biggest issue, I think, is that there's no depth in the lineup to overcome the injuries that the Raiders had.
George, when we talked last week, you talked about this game being a showcase for some of the younger Raider talent and sort of a audition going into next year. Do you think Dennis Allen saw enough out of some guys? You talked about Burris. I liked what Goodson did at the running back position. Do you think he saw enough out of some of the Raiders' young players to feel positive about going into next year?
Definitely the two names that you mentioned, I think they have a good idea as to what their abilities are. What I would like to have seen more of is Terrell Pryor, to see what he has. I think that one series was not fair to him, to evaluate him if they are evaluating him. I don't think they gave him a fair chance yesterday, where I thought he could have played a lot more, and they could have gotten an idea as to what kind of rhythm this kid has with the offense. Can he make an offense go? Can he make the throws? Does he have the attention of the players? Does he have leadership qualities? All those questions were not answered, and those are the things that I think you have to find out about this kid. And I just don't think he was dealt with fairly as far as playing time is concerned. There are a couple of other young players who've been playing throughout the year. Streeter, Kreiner, receivers, you know what they can do. But I'm pretty sure the next two games will definitely see some younger players in there trying to make a statement, because this is a statement. The last two games are statement games for these guys, I think.
Well, the Raiders have 4 wins, and 2 of those wins come against the worst team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. How are the Raiders fans looking at this season? Are they looking at it as a 4-10 year, or possibly even a 2-14 year, knowing that 2 of the games that they won were against the Chiefs?
Yeah, well, you take all wins. I mean, in this league, they're hard to get. The Raider fans are looking at this as a season that a young coach, new general manager, inherited the whereas of Mr. Davis after he passed. This is his team basically that he put together, and I think the Raider fans want to see Dennis Allen and Reggie McKenzie turn the whole process around and make this a winning organization again. Now, time-wise, you have to ask yourself how much time does this group have? You have to definitely look at that. How much time are you willing to give the McKenzie and Allen? And that's the big question, I think. I don't know if you can go through 3 years of losing trying to put a team together. I think it has to be done immediately. We're in that age where, hey, everything's done instantly. And fans want to see a winner on the field, and they want to see that pretty quick. So I don't think they have a lot of time, maybe a couple of years to put this together. And I think that's exactly what the fans want to see, is a winning organization, and they want to see it happen fast. They've been on a losing end for quite some time now.
Well, you talked about the process, and we're over a year removed from owner Al Davis passing away, and we had actually a question for you from our Facebook page from Cade Gosh. He wanted to know from you personally, did you and do you feel like other players that you played with or that played with the Raiders after, did you guys feel an added sense of pressure with an owner like Al Davis that was so hands-on and was watching every step? Did you feel a lot of pressure from that?
Not at all. Just the opposite. I mean, we felt like, Al Davis was a fair guy when it came to players. And if you could play, you got a chance to play. If you couldn't play, you wouldn't play. And he was a player's owner. I mean, the guy did everything he could for his players. So no, we didn't feel pressure. What we felt was that, hey, we want to win, and not just, we want to win as a group. We want to win because we felt we had the talent, and we took pride in winning, and we brought commitment to excellence. We definitely bought into that. So, and we worked hard to make that happen. So, no, we didn't feel pressure around Al Davis at all. What we felt was definitely we were around a guy who knew the game, who was interested in the game, and who wanted the same thing that we wanted, and that was championships and wanted to win.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you, we see the flame, the eternal flame there for Al Davis, burning there at the Coliseum. And I guess one last question for you, as far as the stadium goes itself, as you see the Oakland Coliseum has been there a while. Do you feel like the positive steps are being made there in Oakland or in the county, Alameda County, as far as a new stadium? And where do you think that it stands right now?
I don't know. I'm not privy to all of that information, but what you see in the paper, they are supposed to be talking about something as far as doing something with the stadium, either building a new one or renovating the old one. But definitely, that is an old structure, as you well know. The date lets you know that it's outdated. When you start looking at stadiums around the league, there's no comparison. It's the oldest stadium probably in existence. Then you look at San Francisco is finally getting a new stadium. They will be the only team on the West Coast with a new stadium, believe it or not. San Diego, same day and the same dilemma. There's no teams in LA. But when you start looking at do the Raiders deserve a new structure? Definitely. Without a doubt. Will it be in Oakland? The jury's still out, I think, on that, and that's something that we probably won't have privy to for another few months. But definitely in need of, and definitely should have one. Whether that will transpire or not, who knows?
Well, George, we just absolutely can't thank you enough for being on with this football season. We look forward to catching up with you. And let me make you a deal. Next year, Clinton, Noah, the Outsiders, we're going to come out to the Black Hole for Chiefs Raiders, and we'll do it, and we'll wear red. Only one condition: if you will be our personal bodyguard. Are you up for that?
You got it.
Hey, that's
you got it.
That's the only way we can do it.
You come to Oakland, I'll come to Kansas City.
Yeah, I think you'd be a little safer in Kansas City than we would be in Oakland, though. Well, George, I tell you,
man, you protect it. I know Black Hole people pretty well, and I'll definitely be your bodyguard if you come out.
Hey, it's a deal. We'll make that happen. And I'll tell you what, George, Merry Christmas to all you guys on the left coast in Oakland, and congratulations, and let's go get a BCS championship for Notre Dame and your two twin sons down there. We'll be watching.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Hey, George, we appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas to everyone in Kansas City.
All right, take care, George. Thanks.
And appreciate it as always, George. Can't wait to get back with him next year. And I tell you what, I say Noah, next year you and I head to the Black Hole when the Chiefs play there, and we'll use George Atkinson as our bodyguard.
That sounds great to me. Anybody comes over the middle at us wearing our Chiefs gear, he takes them out.
That's the only way that I think I would be able to wear red out at the Black Hole.
We're going to have to sit close to him, too, in the stadium.
Oh, it's certainly. Literally maybe have to be attached to him with, like, Saved by the Bell buddy bands
yes.
to have a chance, because would not want to be in that stadium wearing red. There was a poor guy in one of the end zones that I kept seeing throughout all the 90 Sebastian Janikowski field goals. The one lone guy wearing, like, a Jamal Charles jersey in this huge sea of, I just cannot imagine. I assume
getting batteries chucked at his head.
I assume there will probably be YouTube videos of violence from that incident. Probably.
Let's hope he made it home safely.
Yes, God, that place. Passionate fans, but if we go out there next year, I will do it if George will agree to have our backs.
Yes, I will go out there. I'll be in my red as long as George is taking out people across the middle.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Maybe we need to assist the services of maybe Howie Long as well. That might help.
Marcus Allen out there helping us out.
Okay, sure, yeah, definitely. Maybe Blitnikoff would come out and assist us. We've built a relationship here with the Oakland Raiders, and it's become friendly. Maybe because these teams engage in pillow fights now instead of football games. But
I didn't see the Chiefs guy in the crowd. Pretty much after every play or during every play, I'd put my head in my hands and wait until I hear Brady calling for the next snap or whatever. So it was ugly, to say the least.
Oh, my gosh. Well, let's go around the NFL with our division sweep segment. And we had a lot of big games in the NFL. And let's start right here in the AFC West. We had Denver going on the road out to Baltimore, and they just shellacked the Ravens, and it surprised me. I think you were right earlier in the year when you said the Ravens wouldn't be the same team, but the Ravens just don't look like a championship caliber team right now. Denver does.
Well, Denver does. I mean, Baltimore, they lost Cam Cameron, so they've got Jim Caldwell in there, no Ray Lewis, no Ladarius Webb, no Terrell Suggs. They just look to be struggling to find their way.
Denver looks like a team to me that could easily be in the Super Bowl, and I've questioned it all along. You want to question it, but Peyton Manning, as soon as he was signed, it was over. We should have known that. As soon as he signed with Denver, it was over.
Yeah, we kept letting the Chiefs brass fool us into this is the most talented roster, and Cornell's a great guy, and he got him motivated at the end of last year. And we've talked about Chiefs and Raiders, but how about the San Diego Chargers? Just an abomination. Phillip Rivers is a turnover machine. They go and get just shellacked by Carolina, a team that's playing better, but they just had beat Pittsburgh the week before. I mean, San Diego, they're talk about firing everybody. I mean, everybody there is. They're going to be looking for a GM and a head coach. They're going to be looking for some offensive linemen. I don't like Jared Gaither. They thought he was the answer at left tackle. I don't think so. They need some work there. Their receivers are pedestrian at best with Malcolm Floyd, Robert Meacham, Eddie Royal. Gates is injury prone. They don't have a running game with Brian Matthews always injured, and their defense, I like their linebackers and their D-line. They could use some help in the secondary other than Eric Weddle and Quentin Jammer, but I don't know. They're just a mess, and Phillip Rivers needs to find himself again.
Well, let's go back down to the AFC South, the division I find very interesting, because what we found out, which is what we mentioned earlier, the Colts, who were coming to Arrowhead this Sunday, went to Houston and played a pretty good game, but they're just not as good as the Texans yet. They're an up-and-coming team. Again, going to be a wild card playoff team, but the Houston Texans, obviously the clash of that division, and we're still skeptical. We'll see what Houston can do in the playoffs. They're probably going to have home field advantage, but I like what I see out of Indianapolis. I like what I see out of Houston, but obviously Jacksonville, a team fighting the Chiefs for that first overall pick.
Sounds like the Chiefs have a good hold on it, but
there's
still 2 weeks to go.
And Tennessee is very, very shaky as well. But I mean, when you're talking about the two best teams, talk about Houston and Indianapolis, two teams I think that are that are very good. Going to be playoff teams, obviously, and I like the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts had the number one pick, so it's hard to envision them in the playoffs, but that's exactly where they're headed. And they may not do some damage this year, but they were 2-14 last year. Come on, just making the playoffs is huge for them, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs. I don't like the Texans going into the playoffs. I know they're 12-2. I know they're going to be the number one seed, but I just don't think the playoffs are a different game. Totally, I don't think they have the mindset. I don't think they're mentally tough. I don't think they have the head coach to win in the playoffs. Maybe if the Colts make it against them, or the Bengals, or whoever makes it in that last spot. But against the likes of the Patriots or Broncos, I don't think they stand a chance.
Yeah, and as we go out to the AFC East, a division that is basically a bunch of mediocre teams and the New England Patriots. And I'll tell you what, we talked last week about the greatness of Tom Brady in this organization. And they lost to San Francisco on Sunday night. But to me, the way they came back in that game down 31-3 exemplified what a great team they are. And I know they lost the game. To me, that's a Super Bowl preview. It could be. New England is... They might have cost themselves a first-round bye, but I still like them in the playoffs. They're battle-tested. Tom Brady threw for 400-plus yards, kept his touchdown streak alive. They lost the game. New England's still up there to me.
Yeah, you got Belichick and Brady. I love them in the playoffs. They're battle-tested. Of course, they're going to do it. They're just going to do it. And before the season, I picked the Patriots and 49ers to make the Super Bowl. It looks like that could be happening, so we'll stay tuned.
In the North, I think that, when you talk about a logjam of teams right now, you got Baltimore, who's going to win the division, and then Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, who basically the wild card playoff spot's going to be on the line when these two hook up next
week.
Sunday, yeah. So to me, I like the way Cincinnati's playing. I think that right now they're the better team over Pittsburgh, to me.
I still have Pittsburgh making the playoffs.
Very well could.
Yeah, I don't see Cincy winning this game in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh just lost to the freaking Cowboys, so it's up in the air right now. It's a 50-50. I barely like the Steelers better than the Bengals, but I think it's 50-50 in this game.
Speaking of 50-50, as we head to the NFC side, the NFC East, which is three teams now tied at 8-6, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, sort this out for me. Who wins it, and which team makes the wild card out of that division?
Let's see. I think the Redskins and Cowboys play each other at the end of the year, and I'm going to go with the Giants to make the playoffs. The Giants are going to do it. I know they just got shellacked, 34-0.
Hey, this is a team
they need a healthy Bradshaw. Their secondary is kind of injured, so the stud receivers of the Falcons really hurt them. But if they can get Bradshaw back healthy, I like the Giants and Manning making the playoffs.
I think they will, and I think right now that the Giants are, in a word, a wild card. They are psycho. They always are a psycho team. You get beaten 45-0, and then come back, win a division.
In the playoffs, I like Coughlin and Manning figuring it out.
They seem to. So. They seem to figure it out, and so it'll be interesting from that end because right now, 3 teams tied with 2 games to go. It's going to be a battle. So how about the NFC South though? We saw the Tampa Bay Bucks, who the Chiefs played earlier in the year, and we talked to T.J. Reeves, their sideline reporter, looked like a team on the rise. They've lost, I think, 4 straight games, taking themselves out of playoff contention. New Orleans, a team that had been really bad the last month of the season, too, just destroyed the Bucks on Sunday, 41-0. And basically, those 2 teams are out of it. It comes down, of course, it's going to be your NFC South champs, Atlanta. Do you like the Falcons in the playoffs? This is a conversation we had. I know the answer to this. Tell our listeners, because I think that where I agree with you that they have not done it before. Right now, if you're doing a power ranking, they're still probably number 1 in the NFC, maybe 2 behind San Francisco, depending on how you look at it. But you don't like them in the playoffs, do you?
No, I've got the Falcons number 3 in my power rankings if it was currently, but I like to look ahead to the playoffs, and I do not like this team in the playoffs. Mike Smith, Matt Ryan, I don't trust them. Just like the Texans, I don't trust Matt Schaub and Gary Kubiak. I don't think they can do it. I don't think they're ready. I don't like how they've lost the past years in the playoffs. Yeah. One of our listeners, Cade Gosh, your cousin, came on and said that although they have lost in the playoffs, that the team that they lost to did end up winning the NFC. They've won the Super Bowl 2 times. But I just don't see it. I think that whoever beats the Falcons this year in the playoffs, well, then I guess they're just going to win the NFC and be in the Super Bowl. So.
Very, very, very possible. I think that you got to give credence to the fact that they are a 12-2 team, and they've won some close games, but it's the NFL. The parity's there, and they're going to – I think they're a very, very good team. I think that them and San Francisco are probably going to be the 1 and 2 seeds, depending on what happens with Green Bay. And let's go to that division, the NFC North. Green Bay – going to win that division. Of course, they beat the Chicago Bears, a team that's reeling right now. Jay Cutler is is it just me, or does Jay Cutler just, you look at him and just see one of those guys like this football thing just isn't for him? You know what I mean by that? Like, you just watch him play like this, he should just be doing something else. He's not the worst quarterback in the league.
I love his arm. They have a horrible offensive line. Forte's been hurt. They don't have a tight end. Kellen Davis is their starting tight end. How many of you out there know who Kellen Davis is? They've got tons of injuries on the defense. Briggs and Urlacher have been beat up. Jennings is injured. I don't like their safeties, Major Wright and Chris Conti. I mean, come on. They need better safeties. The days they had Daniel Manning, who's now with the Texans, and Mike Brown, who had a good career before he came to Kansas City with Herm Edwards. So,
well, and I think that's going to be a division to really keep an eye on, because I think
the Vikings, they're still in it with Adrian Peterson going for Eric Dickerson's all-time record in yardage.
Unbelievable season Peterson's had.
Yeah, unfortunately they have Christian Ponder at quarterback, so that's going to be tough.
I think Ponder has some athleticism, can do a couple things for you, but it's just not an offense that's going to be really explosive through the air. Peterson is the workhorse. He is that whole team, and he must be taking stem cells or something to have gotten back from that knee injury.
I agree. Quick. I was questioning maybe the HGH or something. I mean, he got injured, I believe, second to last game of the year, and he's doing this. Is it going to break possibly Eric Dickerson's record? I mean, I just don't know.
Well, let's go out west, our final division, our division sweep segment. The NFC West, a division everybody has talked about for years being so down and so horrible. All of a sudden, it's pretty darn good, and you had the Arizona Cardinals starting 4-0, have not won a game since.
That's why I hate power rankings that go like weekly. Like,
it doesn't
4-0. Yeah. People would have the Cardinals maybe 1, 2, 3. I mean, I wouldn't even have them in there because I like to look ahead, project ahead, and I wouldn't have had them in there. That's why I hate the weekly power rankings.
San Francisco going to win that division. You're going to have the Seattle Seahawks definitely going to make the playoffs out of that division.
But the biggest story is Todd Haley being rumored to take over for Ken Whisenhunt as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, it'd be interesting to see Todd Haley getting another shot, going back to Arizona where he was offensive coordinator, And it's very possible. I think
I hear the Cardinals brass are huge fans of Todd Haley, as am I, so that's good to hear.
Whisenhunt, since that Super Bowl run, has not been able to get it done there since Kurt Warner is retired. So, and St. Louis, I think, again, they've had an improved season. Give them credit. They weren't ready to be a playoff team, I don't think.
They stole our coach, dang it. Jeff Fisher.
Didn't want to come here. So, hey, thanks for joining us, our division sweep segment. I hope we got all your teams in there, got a little something for all you guys.
Wait, Clint, what about the Seattle Seahawks, who in the past 2 weeks have scored 108 points and the Chiefs have scored 7?
That's quite a dichotomy, isn't it? 108 points. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks are playing great football. Russell Wilson, that defense, I like a lot. They'll be playing the San Francisco 49ers this next Sunday, so they could really find themselves the leg up if they could steal a win there, and they're going to be a wild card team, probably the 5 seed, excuse me, and I like them. I think they could go on the road and win. I mean, gosh, they're going to go to maybe Atlanta, maybe back to San Francisco.
Yeah, I really like them.
Maybe Green Bay.
Putting up 50 points back-to-back weeks, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs with beast mode and Russell Wilson.
Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us. We've been talking Chiefs Raiders, talking the NFL, and we're going to be joining you, of course, bringing you the preview, Chiefs and Colts, the final home game at Arrowhead.
Thankfully, let's
Noah,
get it
you
over
look
with.
like you're dressed for a funeral.
I am. I'm all in
Maybe
my black.
You are.
And it is just over. I'm ready for the season to be done. Get some firings in here.
Yes.
Get some new guys, hopefully, that'll get this thing turned around and draft our quarterback.
Thanks very much to our guest, George Atkinson, and thanks for joining us. Outsiders Podcast, Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger. Hit us up on all of our social networks, and we will catch you guys later in the week. Thanks a lot.